White starts the match with, "I call BS on this story, period. If this is true, then all those myths about toilet seats and swimming pools would be true, period." Bold opening from White with absolute confidence. Surely he knows the topic well and is well versed in it, right? Good move. For context, the match is about two inmates in separate cells who manage to conceive a child without ever meeting. They pass the secret sauce through the air vents using a makeshift line out of bedding, and the woman used a yeast infection applicator to inject it to herself. What the actual did I just read? And it's always the people that shouldn't be parents that always pull shit off like this, and the poor kid is gonna get bullied and called the Among Us baby. The sheer audacity to compare this situation to toilet seat pregnancy myths shows a fundamental misunderstanding of how reproduction actually works. But hey, at least they're confident about being wrong. Black counters with, "Not necessarily, period, because the mayonnaise was actually inserted in this instance, period, but the others aren't." Solid counter by Black, which put White's opening to a rough start, refuting that it's not the same logic and circumstances. Best move. If it was me, I would just call him an imbecile and move on with the day. This defense shows Black actually understands the difference between direct and indirect contact. Basic biology that apparently went over White's head during sex ed because he was probably too busy gooning in the school bathroom. Not that I can't relate. White doubles down with, "I just can't bring myself to believe this is true, period. If a guy knew G in cellophane and passing it through a hole in the wall to a woman who inserts it into herself with a syringe results in pregnancy, then why is IVF a multi-billion-dollar industry? Real ones know this isn't true because there's two types of orgasm a man can have, and one doesn't result in pregnancy, period. I'll probably be downvoted to filth because only the broad strokes of people are taught/picked up until you learn the finer details on your own generally. People still believe eggplant sizes got bigger due plus evolution and not HGH and TRT, so I don't have out much hope of people running to corroborate my story, period. White had a good start until he started rambling about two types of mayonnaise, and where did wiener size rank come from? He's probably packing a 1-inch pickle. He has to show me so I can confirm. For the match integrity, of course, outrageous. White just went completely off the rails and started mixing reproductive biology with conspiracy theories about fertility industries. The sudden pivot to discussing different types of male climax, followed by an unprompted rant about penis size evolution, is turning this conspiracy theory gambit to a schizophrenic one. However, Black, with another impressive move, says, "The reason why IVF is a multi-billion-dollar industry is because the people that do that are experiencing fertility issues, period. It's not that regular John and Jane Doe that don't need fertility treatment in order to get pregnant. This is a massive elo difference you can clearly see in this match who has a high rating versus someone who loses to a 250 rated bot." Another great line of reasoning by Black, refuting everything White throws at him. Every piece White develops gets spawn camped by Black's rook. Absolute cinema. Such a brilliant move. This is the kind of response that makes you realize one person actually understands what they're talking about, while the other is just throwing around random words like they heard on those Sigma male podcasts. Black's explanation is so clear and logical, it's almost embarrassing for White. White, still thinking he can come back from this ass whooping, asks, "Have you had kids? Too late, buddy. No one, and I mean nobody, is going to take you seriously after schizo ranting in the previous messages. He's trying to set up the gotcha defense, which, let's be honest, barely matters in most cases. He missed his chance to walk away. When you can't win with facts, try to discredit your opponent's personal experience. And unfortunately for White, this strategy works about as well as using mustard as lube, and it hurts. Inaccuracy. Black shoots back with, "Yes, period, I have 2 kids. Another perfect parry by Black, revealing he has 2 offspring and is well versed in spawning tiny humans, completely foiling White's gotcha defense, which wouldn't even dent the evaluation bar. Someone tell White to just resign, he's down in material by a lot. This is just depressing. White probably has 0 kids, super obvious from the way he talks, and his questionable anatomy knowledge. Excellent move. Black just revealed that they have the actual real-world experience with reproduction, making White's theoretical rambling looking even more unhinged in comparison. White, still clinging to his delusions, says, I would be worried about paternity if you think an orgasm induced by masturbation is the same as an orgasm produced by reproductive sex mate. No harm to you, period. I don't even know if at this point White is being real or just rage baiting. Sad to say, this is most likely not bait, he's just the average American education. Saying this on a public platform is downright diabolical. I don't know if there were multiple choice opinions when squeezing out mayonnaise, but all I know is they all taste the same. I read it in an article, Criminal move. The confidence is discussing reproductive biology while being fundamentally wrong about basic human anatomy is genuinely impressive in its silly little way. Next, White starts us off with, I was just about to check FB Marketplace for a Sony lens after some Reddit scrolling, period. Never meant to check FB Marketplace for a Sony lens after some Reddit scrolling, period. Never mind, period. Unfortunate situation, luckily it's caught on camera, period. A few $100s isn't worth dying over, period. White probably saw someone get Swiss cheesed over a Facebook Marketplace trade. Who even uses Facebook anymore? If you do, you're a fossil, go take care of your kids or something, Gramps. Book move. Black, out of nowhere, starts chirping about dye equals a natural or synthetic substance used to add a color to or change the color of something, period. Dye equals to pass from physical life, period. Learning the meaning of words before posting isn't difficult. Dyeing means adding color to something, period. Dying means to die, period, as in death or not alive. Additionally, never mind is 2 words, not 1, period. Black attempted to counter with the nerd gambit, but failed horribly. If you're gonna correct someone and be a huge nerd, at least do it right. Don't walk around so ignorant and egotistical. Couldn't be me, but I'd never make this mistake. What an embarrassing miss. They correctly identified the die-die distinction, but then immediately messed up by saying dying means adding color to something when they meant dying. Next, White starts the game with, if Barack Obama were to announce a 2024 run, how would you react? Interesting question to say the least. A good conversation starter or even something fun to start an argument or definitely a debate. Book move. A solid hypothetical question that could lead to interesting political discourse. White setting up what could be an engaging discussion about constitutional law and presidential term limits. Black hits back with, confused as I thought that wasn't allowed, period, which is a very valid question to ask. Maybe White just doesn't know the facts yet or is trying to get a reaction out of the players. Black showing that they actually have some knowledge of constitutional restrictions on presidential terms. This is a reasonable response from someone who understands basic civics. Good move. White clarifies his position. It'd be perfectly legal. The 2-term limit is 2 consecutive terms. Another victim of American education. This is why I dropped out of school, not because I got bullied for wearing my own merch at school, which is just another reckless mistake. White just revealed they fundamentally misunderstood how presidential terms limits work. This isn't about consecutive terms, it's about total terms served, showing peak American education. Black prepares the finishing blow with, no person shall be elected to the office of the president more than twice, and no person who has held the office of the president or acted as president for more than 2 years of a term to which has some other person was elected president shall be elected to the office of president more than 1 period. Another brutal one-sided beatdown. This match is more one-sided than the love I gave my dad, which, let's be honest, definitely one-sided. He doesn't give any back. Completely outmatched, another masterclass by Black. Well played, brilliant. This is what happens when someone who actually knows the law meets someone who gets their constitutional knowledge from X. Who am I kidding? Everyone calls that shit Twitter. Next, White starts the game with, guessing this guy doesn't know how cup sizes work, period. True A cups aren't super common past puberty, period. My boobs are fairly small volume-wise, but they're still a C because I'm otherwise petite, period. A bigger woman with the same total boob volume could still be a B or an A, but maybe this is some 8th grader. I can hope this is an 8th grader. Any older and it gets really embarrassing for him to think like this, period. White drops an entire lecture about bra and melon physics. White came in like someone who has been waiting their entire life for this exact conversation. Technically brilliant. Black responds with, I don't think you're a real woman, but okay, period. Go off, period. The classic picks or it didn't happen gambit, completely missing the actual game being played. I honestly don't know what's happening personally. I'm out of my element. I've never felt the touch of a woman, but I could tell this was not only wrong, but an embarrassing blunder. Black decided to question White's entire gender identity instead of engaging with the actual topic. This is like standing up in the middle of a match and you start asking to see what they're packing down there. Mistake, I've done it, and it was really embarrassing. White just acknowledged that they're in the Gladiator Coliseum and they're loving it. Haha, Reddit is so fun, truly a PvP enabled website. Bold, but this move has no real value, more of a showmanship move, equivalent of moving your rook next to your king instead of castling. Miss. Black tries to double down with cup size I affected by weight, but if the volume of your tip is a C, then it's a C. Doesn't matter if you're petite or not. Only thing that changes is the number in the bra size. 36C or 42C is still a C. I do agree that A cups and B cups aren't that common, but you still don't make that sense when you describe cup size like that. The only thing I can think of is some brands don't label sizes the same. Black proceeds to mansplain bra physics while being spectacularly wrong with the confidence of a man who's never seen a bra outside of a Twitch stream. Inaccuracy. White lands the kill shot with, sorry, but that's incorrect, period. Look up sister sizes, period. A 34D has the same cup volume as a 36C, period. A woman who has the same volume of as me, 32C, but a larger band size would be a 34B or a 36A, etc., period. A 42C has a great cup volume than a 36, period. That is how it works. The letter is about relative size, period. I'm gonna be honest with you, I didn't understand a single thing from this move, or honestly any of them. They're all too high level, even for me, but I did some research, some pretty good research in incognito, and White delivers a factual execution, so clean it deserves a trophy move. Other than that one mistake earlier, another clean mate. Next, White opens the match with, they don't have Reddit. White just casually mentioned that some places on Earth don't have access to our precious internet forums. You know, basic infrastructure realities that exist outside of your mom's basement. Book move. Black hits back with VPNs. Holy shit, Black just solved global poverty with 2 letters and an S. This is like someone saying they're homeless and Black responding, just buy a house, bro. Absolute magnificent first world tunnel vision. If you don't have stable internet, listen to Black, just use a VPN, bro. It's just that easy. Inaccuracy. White tries to solidify his position with, most of them don't have internet. White is now speaking very slowly and clearly like they're explaining to a toddler why grandma isn't going to wake up anytime soon. Listen buddy, they don't have the magic electricity box that makes the internet happen. White patiently explaining why you can't use internet tools without internet. This is like explaining why you can't goon without my videos. Great move. Black doubles down with, so question mark, just use a VPN. Jesus Christ. Black just recommended using internet software to solve not having internet. This is the kind of logic that makes my brain leak out of my ears. The doubling down is magnificent. Black's solution to infrastructure problems is more infrastructure. Blunder. You know what else makes my brain melt? You not liking and subscribing, and make sure to buy my merch, please. My mom is kind of homeless. Buy it on textchest.store, link is down in the description. Next, White moves the first pawn with, Alex is the only one in the position to disclose the amount of $sign he received, period. I'd hate to do that if he's not comfortable, period. But especially with his part-time position, he did not receive $250K, and my own personal understanding was that if we didn't take the job, we'd get 1/2 the salary, period. I'd have to reread my paperwork. White casually opens with insider knowledge while being protective of privacy. This is either legitimate contestant or the most committed LARP attempted. Good move. Black tries to counter with, other contestants have not taken the job and still were given the $250K, so again, you're wrong. Black being confident in attempting to call White's bluff is a bit commendable. They probably got this information from YouTube comments on one of Hell's Kitchen's videos and ran with it, a bit ballsy, but a decent good move. White shoots hard with, I'm sorry, do you have the paperwork? I quite literally have the agreement on paper. Your assumption is incorrect and that's okay, smiling face emoji. White is not backing down from his stalwart position of being an actual contestant and offering Black a chance to resign. This is actually about to get very real or very embarrassing. Best move. Black hits back with, yeah, of course you just so happen to have paperwork that has nothing to do with you, clown emoji. And that paperwork just so happens to be on this exact topic, laughing crying face emoji. Imagine having to lie on Reddit because you're too insecure about being wrong, LMFAO, period. Good job, clown, period. Black tries to defend himself with the delusional defense, which isn't working since White offered proof, but he's trying to ignore it and change the subject. Loser behavior. They think having evidence when you make claims is somehow suspicious. Since we don't know if White is a LARP or not, this is considered a good move. The ominous third party intervened with, do you know who you're arguing with? Question mark. Someone watching the match started glazing White like he's Magnus Carlsen. Calm down, buddy. No need for this glaze. He's not me. Let them finish their one-on-one. Black with paranoia kicking in. One very deluded idiot, lol. One with many claims. yet zero evidence to back it up, lol. And the moment that claim is challenged, they go, I'm gonna let you have this one, like any other idiot with zero proof would say. Going all in on the conspiracy theorist strat, creating this beautiful logical prison where asking for proof is suspicious, but not providing proof is also suspicious. This is like playing chess, but every move your opponent makes is automatically cheating. Black is doubling down on their skepticism while potentially arguing with an actual reality TV participant. Mistake. White tries to end the game with, just trying to give you proof, I'll DM you from my Instagram for bonus attention, period. Laughing face emoji, laughing face emoji, laughing face emoji, period. At this point, I know you're just trolling, but I'm bored, so I don't mind. White's still trying to be reasonable, with Black having a psychological episode, but still kind enough to try and offer resolution to the match and end the game on good terms, but never show mercy or weakness. It's a cold world out there. Miss. Black continues to have a complete mental breakdown. Ah yes, totally not fake Instagram from some random on a subreddit is definitely proof, laughing face emoji, but sideways, period. It's genuinely sad you think people want attention for you, lol, period. You want to prove yourself so badly, yet you can't just drop your Instagram question mark. Why do you need mine, laughing face emoji, but sideways, period. At this point, I know you're just trolling, lol. No. Imagine being so deluded and conceited to think everyone is going to automatically believe you with your sad bullshit claims you can't even provide anything. LOL. And going, her, I asked you for your Instagram, isn't proof, laughing face emoji, but sideways. You shouldn't need my Instagram to prove proof, LMFAO. You're just another sad loser cosplaying as a Hell's Kitchen contestant for a Hell's Kitchen subreddit for the attention you seem to think I want. The projection is really telling me a lot about you. It's sad, cringy, and pathetic, period. You can't even stick to your word, but I'm supposed to believe you, question mark, laughing face emoji, is sure thing, kiddo, period. Black is either trolling or serious about this. I don't see why you would be this mad on a subreddit of a TV show. This is just embarrassing. Basically started eating the chess pieces and still declaring he's winning. Someone tell Black to go get a job. Criminal move. White still trying to fix the game with, I don't understand how else you want me to plug proof in a Reddit, laughing face emoji, but sideways. I can type out that my Instagram is chef_Cheyenne or link it, but it won't show that it's my account, LMFAO, period. Please explain how you expect proof and I'll give it to you, kiddo, period. I know you're joking and trolling, but by the time you're putting into this is disturbing. Too much grotesque name calling, it's old already, period. I know you're loving this, but please just explain how I can insert proof that shows out on me for people like you in the future. White is moving with perfect accuracy, showing that they were actually on the show, and Black has been arguing over nothing. It's not that serious, lol, bro. Oh wait, it's Hell's Kitchen, it might be that serious. Best move. Black responds with, please explain how you expect proof. I don't expect proof because you don't have any LMFAO. Period. If you were who you claim to be, you wouldn't feel the need to prove yourself to anyone to begin with, regardless of what others say online, period. Not to mention that girl is ugly as sin, so you know what, maybe you are telling the truth, period. Because nobody would lie about looking that ugly willingly, period. I suppose, period. Only an ugly would lie about being a second-rate wannabe chef as well, period. Either you're one ugly cook, definitely no chef, or you're a deluded loser cosplaying on a subreddit, period. I still lean towards deluded loser, period. Black continues to lash out on White, realizing he might be talking to an actual contestant and is trying to insult the chef to lessen the deep disappointment he has of himself. Black reeks of a Discord basement dweller. I think he's just self-respecting at this point. Being a deluded loser fits him very well. A well-deserved blunder, which my Discord in the description is not full of. White closes the game with LMAO. That's a few more O's. I'm framing this. Tired yet? White finally sees what Black's strategy is and is now just showboating and taunting Black, which seemingly worked since Black stopped playing after this and White won by checkmate. Next, White starts the game with, but it's flat because the water would all be at the bottom, rolling eyes emoji, starting the game off with the flat earth's gambit. The confidence in stating something so fundamentally at odds with observable reality is impressive. It's the bomb cloud opening of text chess, inaccuracy. Black tries to parry. If this is not satire, the earth is round because gravity is in the center of the globe, making water try to go to it, but the land blocks it, period. Nope, this is an inaccuracy. Best move would be resigning. It's not worth arguing with flat earthers. It will give you headaches more painful than that one time I had a bishop stuck in my ankle. White hits back with, but gravity pulls down though. Why would it stay on the planet at all if it's being pulled down to the center of the universe? White doubles down with the flat earth gambit. Not only is it wrong, it's so wrong that the evaluation bar just smacked White harder than my dad does. Mistake. Black responds with, it's not being pulled down to the center of the universe. There is no gravity in space even. There's no point in arguing, let's drop this. Black almost had a winning position, but then decided to be a dumbass and said no gravity in space. That's like promoting a pawn and choosing a knight instead of a queen. By choice, he's also offering a draw. This is just a disappointing blunder. Want more? Press the playlist that pops up for more, or else I'll kill you.